Fuck, I did not need to cry today. Hey y'all, it's Alirien, and welcome to the Imbolc tarot readings for 2024. As with all of these tarot videos, the playlist for which you can find linked in the cards and in the descriptive tome below, we will be following the same format where we read 3 cards plus the bottom of the deck from a Waite Smith style deck of cards, in this case the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot by Sarah Christensen Fu, and 1 card from an Oracle style deck. This is the Lunar Oracle by Liberty Fi. Also, as with all of my tarot videos, I urge you, first and foremost with any of these readings, to take what resonates and leave the rest. So if for some reason the reading for your zodiac sign doesn't quite fit, it might not be meant for you this time. Listen to the other readings in the video and see if one of them makes more sense. It could line up with another sign somewhere in your birth chart and be the more important advice for you right now. Even if a reading does not line up with any of your birth chart signs or comes to you after the season of Imbolc ends at the spring equinox, if it still feels like it is speaking very, very directly to a situation in your life that you are trying to navigate, it is intended for you to consider its guidance in spite of all other factors not technically lining up. The most important thing is how strongly the reading and its guidance resonate with your situation. Now, Imbolc is a time of renewing our energy and our determination to get through the last of winter before the spring comes and brings warmth and light, and with it, the start of the really big work again. In older forms of society, when a lot more people were living directly off of the land and working with animals, the spring meant that it was time to till the fields, sow the crops, and start working with your livestock again. In our modern day, where fewer and fewer people are living directly off the land, mostly what this means is right now, while you probably are still already doing work for whatever your goals are, much of the hard work and the really intensive and tedious work is going to hit later in the year. Especially as things warm up, people are going to be doing more things together, and so your time and your energy are going to be spread thinner. Right now is a time for continuing to rest and gather up as much energy as you can for that coming work as soon as spring arrives, as well as starting to refresh ourselves and our homes and our lives in order to clear the way for that new work so that it is as unhindered as possible. So, with that in mind, let's get through these Imbolc readings, starting with Aquarius, to see what we can do to better rest and refresh and prepare for the coming spring. Please excuse any munching sounds you hear in the background. Layla's currently eating off screen. Hi, Duchess. Three cards, please. 1. For Aquarius, for Imbolc, please. I'll also read the bottom of the deck. Aquarius, your reading is quite straightforward in reminding you of your strengths in spite of where you may be now, and urging you how to move forward. You have pulled, as your bottom card, the Page of Graves. Your main spread is the Nine of Eyes, the Knight of Graves, and the King of Eyes. Eyes are the wands, and graves are the pentacles. So all of this deals with your work, your career, your creative pursuits, and very, very firmly puts itself in the realm of you trying to achieve whatever goal you currently have set for yourself. Your oracle reads, preparation is always key to success. The Page of Graves, being the bottom of the deck, is your main theme, right? And it represents a profound curiosity, being unafraid to face adversity and get through whatever obstacles you are facing. All three of these other cards tie, all four if you include the Oracle, tie beautifully into that. Nine of Eyes indicates that you've been fighting and working and pushing for this goal that you have in front of you for a very long time. And it's starting to wear on you. You're starting to reach your limits and you're not sure if you should continue to push through or pull back and take a minute, take a break, or consider walking away. The Nine of Eyes is directly telling you to keep pushing, keep going. It seems you're in a situation where if you stop now, you may never get your momentum back again. Keep pushing in spite of the fatigue. Now, that doesn't mean you should work yourself to burnout. Obviously, keep taking care of your basic needs. Don't walk away from this goal yet. Keep doing every little thing you can as you are able to reach this goal. The Knight of Graves, similarly to the Page of Graves, represents responsibility, hard work, and patience. So it is further confirming, be patient with yourself and keep working hard and persevering through all of the steps to reach this goal. Take as much responsibility as you can for everything that you can control. The King of Eyes is confidence, maturity, optimism, and generosity, though sometimes he can be hasty. This is tying in with the Knight in reminding you to be patient, but again, it is indicating all of the qualities you have within yourself that will help you reach this goal. You are not done yet. And if you need to take any moment to stop working, that waiting can be used to prepare for those next steps. If you are in between goals, then now is the time, and it's perfect for this season. Now is the time to prepare and plan and set forth as much as you can foresee so that if obstacles come up, you will be more ready for them and you will be all but entirely certain to get through them. Now, the Page, the Knight, and the King also could indicate individuals in your life who are meant to help you through this time. The Court cards typically represent a person, not just concepts. The Page is more likely a younger, feminine individual, but this is also the bottom of the deck, so it's probably an aspect of yourself. Tap into the younger, determined, strong side of yourself that will let nothing stop you from achieving your goal. The Knight and the King typically are more masculine energies, the Knight being younger, the King being older. This could be two individuals, a father and a son. It could be an older and a younger brother. It isn't even necessarily men. It could be women who just embody these qualities. But the point is the qualities I described earlier, the patience, hard work, and responsibility, the maturity, the confidence, and optimistic generosity. If this isn't you, this is someone who is meant to help you. You probably already have an idea of who that person might be, but ultimately, whether it's you needing to tap into this part of yourself or find these people to lean on just ever so slightly, keep pushing toward your goal. Keep planning, keep preparing, and keep working. You're not done yet. Pisces, your bottom card is the inverted Two of Eyes. Your main spread has one extra card. We have the Seven of Hearts, the inverted Six of Graves, the Nine of Graves, and the Emperor. Your lunar oracle reads, be still and listen. Your heart will hear what it needs. The inverted Two of Eyes indicates a fear of the unknown and a lack of planning. And all of these other cards I can see are stemming from that. You are so concerned right now with the things that you can't account for as you prepare to move forward with whatever goal you have in mind currently, that you haven't even started to plan for how you're going to move forward. And that in turn, you're probably starting to procrastinate and avoid even trying to start. And that's not healthy, that's not okay. The Seven of Hearts and the reversed Six of Graves are both warnings that are meant to reassure you. The Seven of Hearts is a concept of deception, taking credit for someone else's work, or in any other relatable sense, using some sort of deceit in order to get ahead or succeed. Be mindful of taking too much credit for work that is not solely your own, and don't take credit for work that is not your own. The inverted Six of Graves, again, as a warning, wants you to be mindful of being too attached to your material possessions. The things you own do not make you who you are. Yes, there are things that we have that are incredible comforts to us, but remember that you are not the things you own. You are you, and you can be you without the things that you own. It also cautions against spending money excessively, especially if those expenses bring you beyond what your budget can handle. The Nine of Graves is all about finding a sense of accomplishment without the recognition of others. It tends to be a lonely card, but it is loneliness and a concept that, once explored, brings with it a sense of better self-esteem, confidence, comfort, and the wisdom of knowing exactly where your interests and desires and strengths lie. You do not need to have the approval of others in order to know that you've succeeded. And I think that is part of what may be weighing on you, is that you've been working toward a goal, or have worked toward goals in the past, where the sense of pride that you were hoping to get out of other people, that you hoped or needed to be proud of you, never came for whatever reason. It either wasn't as much as you expected, or it just was never there. So this reading as a whole is trying to help you start to come to terms with the idea that as long as you know that you've reached this milestone and accomplished something, it doesn't matter what other people think. You know you've succeeded. You know you are better and stronger. This goal was important to you, and thus, having reached it, you can be content with that and move forward to the next thing. Sometimes the greatest accomplishments we will make will never be seen or heard of by anyone else in the world. The Emperor has two potential interpretations here. It can either represent the rule of law or a victory of some kind, or it can be an encouragement to step into your own true power. I believe in the context with the other cards, it is the latter. You are being reminded that you are more powerful than you realize. And again, especially hand in hand with the Nine of Graves, these two jumped out together. Be content and bolstered in the knowledge of your own strengths, your own accomplishments, and your own capability. Do not let yourself be held back by a need or a want for the validation of others. Be still and listen to your heart so it may hear what it needs. I think some introspection, to be content with what you are capable of and be proud of what you are capable of, is what is needed right now. Aries, you also have an extra card. Your bottom card is the Tower. You've also pulled the Ten of Hearts, the Two of Graves in reverse, the Page of Graves, and the reversed Queen of Eyes. Your lunar oracle reads, focus on the present, as that is where change occurs. There's not much of a bush to even beat around here. Aries, there is some sort of significant, sudden change or revelation or fall that is going to occur for you. The Tower and the Ten of Hearts both signify, well, the Tower is that sudden upheaval, that revelation. This deck and guide indicate that it's not always necessarily a disastrous occurrence. It mostly indicates something very, very sudden. And somewhere along the way, your ego is going to take a blow through this change. The Ten of Hearts is what tells me that this is going to hurt. It's going to be hard. It indicates heartbreak, some sort of financial struggle, home life, experiencing a significant upset, some sort of important plans being ruined, something along those lines. And the hearts represent more of your mental capability in navigating things. So the important thing is to keep your wits about you. Stay as level-headed as you can. The inverted Two of Graves shows me there's some sort of overwhelming decision that will be a part of this. Either you are going to make a very, very tough decision where neither option is going to feel good, but one ultimately is better than the other for you. It can also show a tipping of scales and a lack of balance, being that it is essentially the Two of Pentacles. I think this falling out of balance is going to be an immediate response to whatever this is that happens, but you can get out of this. The Page of Graves, like with Aquarius, shows a profound curiosity, being unafraid to face adversity, and persevering in the face of your obstacles. These are qualities that you will need, along with a level head, to navigate everything going on right now. The inverted Queen of Eyes is a moodiness, infidelity, or a spirit of vengeance. Be mindful of moments when you may skew toward being petty and playing up yourself as more of a victim than you truly are of whatever these circumstances are. Yes, this sucks, but you can and will navigate out of it. Don't take out this situation on others unnecessarily. Focus on each moment as it happens. You're probably going to have to focus on surviving until everything levels out and things are clearer and you can move forward more confidently. Don't linger on shit in the past, including this once it is past. Don't cast your eyes too far forward into the future. Focus on now. Focus on getting through each moment as it happens. Persevere. Have courage. Stay curious. And keep a level head. Taurus, you've also pulled an extra card. Your bottom card is the reversed Three of Ravens, and your main spread consists of the Hanged Man, Strength in reverse, Two of Eyes inverted, and the Queen of Hearts. Your oracle card is the same as Aries. Focus on the present, as it is here that change occurs. You, like Aries, are going to have to go into a bit of a survival mode right now. Your situation isn't quite as dire as Aries. Three of Ravens indicates a small upheaval or sudden change. I'm wondering if this is going to be a loss of some kind that wasn't expected, because the rest of this looks like your coping mechanisms and how you're going to bolster yourself to survive a little bit. It looks like how you might react. The Hanged Man indicates a situation where you are not in full control of what happens. You do not have full agency. You'll be in some sort of limbo or transitional period. And the important thing to note is clarity and a way forward and better agency for yourself may come through surrendering and grounding yourself in the reality of the situation. Don't try to escape it too much, because if you fight against accepting the reality of the situation, you may just do more damage, if nothing else, to yourself. Strength in reverse indicates some sort of imbalance in strength. Bullying, manipulation, use of force, maybe even violence. So I would caution you against letting yourself fall into these behaviors and to be mindful of others who may act in that way. The inverted Two of Eyes is a significant lack of planning and a fear of the unknown, and that is part of what leads me to believe that it's some kind of loss. Because often in the face of a loss, and this isn't necessarily like someone you know passing away, it could just be a breakup you weren't expecting, a friend or a family member walking away or cutting off for whatever reason, perhaps you needing to cut off that friend or family member. It's going to be something to do with a relationship and or something emotional, but it's not necessarily a death. Regardless, whatever this loss is will leave you questioning how you're going to move forward now that you lack whoever you once had. The Queen of Hearts embodies a widow, someone in mourning, or otherwise someone dealing with having lost, or at the very least missing someone that she holds dear. Whatever this loss is, not unlike Aries, focus on getting through each moment as it happens. You don't have to have all the answers or a plan right away, but through the course of your recovery from this, you will need to sit down and accept the reality of the situation, that what has been lost is gone and may not ever come back. And so this is your life now, and you need to be able to navigate with your life as it currently is. Start planning how to move forward and start moving forward from there. Gemini has also pulled an extra card. This is the most consistent any of my decks have ever been with giving me extra cards, but actually you've also gotten an extra oracle card as well. The bottom card of the deck for you is the Four of Eyes. Your main spread is the inverted High Priestess, the Seven of Ravens, the Two of Hearts, and the King of Ravens in reverse. Your oracle cards are consider the advice of a friend, but make your own decision, and listen to your intuition, then listen to it again. There is a lot of reliance on self and reconnection that needs to happen for Gemini right now. The Four of Eyes indicates good things. There's some sort of accomplishment and happiness occurring for you right now, and that's wonderful. I think perhaps there's a situation trying to take advantage of you in that on the other side of it. There are good things happening. There's, like I said, a potential for someone trying to ride the coattails and take advantage of you in this situation. Since you're celebrating, you may hopefully have your guard down. The inverted High Priestess is a shallowness and a lack of a spiritual connection. Seven of Ravens is a choice that needs to be made that has so many options that you're struggling to decide. It also can indicate a distractedness and disconnectedness. The Two of Hearts is a partnership with a very tenuous and strained balance that is likely to fall apart in some way because if nothing else, the two people involved have become overly competitive with one another. And the inverted King of Ravens is someone who seems kind enough on the surface, but underneath is in fact very, very fierce and manipulative. That, in context, along with the oracle cards, tells me that there is someone you are working with in achieving whatever goal you're working toward who has not been entirely forthcoming with you and is perhaps trying to take more advantage or credit than is owed them. There's some sort of ulterior motive that is happening, or just a general dishonesty. You already know who this person is, and the truth of who they are and what they're after has already occurred to you somewhere in your head. You just haven't seen it or believed it yet. Before you go any further, you need to sit down with yourself and reconnect with your intuition and any spiritual practice you may have, and come to terms with the reality of this person. Start looking more closely at the signs and all the little things that might be off about this person. And from there, make whatever decisions you need to make. Importantly, both oracle cards essentially sum up very nicely what the tarot are trying to tell you, in that while you're trying to make this decision, you may consider or turn to and consider the opinions of other people to help you make that decision, but remember that ultimately every decision you make is your decision. And if nothing else, your intuition, what your own head and heart and soul are telling you, should be of higher importance than anyone else's opinions or input, especially whoever this King of Ravens is. Don't let anyone steer you toward a decision that you aren't comfortable making or that feels wrong for you and your goal. Cancer, you have pulled as the bottom card the Seven of Hearts, and your main spread is all inverted. The King of Graves, the Two of Ravens, and the Four of Graves. Your oracle card says, when you put yourself center stage, it becomes easier to see the next step. Something is seriously off with Cancer. The Seven of Hearts, as with Pisces, indicates an attempt to get away with doing something untoward. Particularly, it is potentially trying to take credit for that which is not yours, taking credit for someone else's work. And it warns you, if you haven't gone down this path yet, to avoid going down this path. But if you have started behaving like this, to correct course as soon as possible before time and reality expose you for what you're doing. The inverted King of Graves symbolizes a perversity, plain old stupidity, and a propensity to be bribed. The inverted Two of Ravens is distrust, argument, lack of planning, and discontent in a relationship. The inverted Four of Graves signifies someone coveting of you and the potential for losing something that you have. I can't say what has led to this situation for you, Cancer. Thus, I have no context for why your mind and in turn your emotions and your work have skewed into this territory. I can only think that somehow your current goals and priorities are not your own. Somehow someone else's or someone else has been put first, and it's starting to have an effect, a detrimental effect on you, and that you're not thinking and acting for yourself, and thus you're not making the decisions that are best and healthiest for you. You're perhaps even being used by this other person or group or whatever. I'm almost wondering if there's another facet to the Seven of Hearts of not wanting to take credit for something you've done rather than trying to take credit for something you haven't. That feels more fitting. It could be a little bit of both. It also could be someone else acting this way. The guide straight up says it's you, but it's not necessarily the case here. There's a relationship in your life, Cancer, that needs some serious examination, because I think someone in this relationship is doing wrong by you and driving you, however conscious you might be of it, to act in very unhealthy ways. Or all of this is embodying that other person and you need to either have a serious talk with this person or walk away. Allow yourself to be your first priority. Your mental health, your emotions, your physical well-being more than anything else, your security. Put yourself as the top priority for a little while, and it'll be easier to figure out what the problem is and what you need to do to address it and move forward. Leo, your bottom card is the Two of Eyes, and your main spread is all inverted. You have the Ten of Graves, Strength, and the Two of Hearts. Your oracle card is You Are Enough Just As You Are. There is a twofold thing happening here. Throughout the whole reading, keep your main context, your greater context card of the Two of Eyes in mind. It represents planning and progress and urges you to focus all of your energy on continuing to build toward the goal you currently have set for yourself, and just focus on continuing to do each next step in turn. Cliche as it might be, think like Anna in Frozen 2. Just do the next right thing and just keep doing the next right thing. That in mind, there's some sort of falling apart happening elsewhere. The inverted Ten of Graves shows some sort of gamble or risk with very poor odds, or some sort of imbalance with family. Either a misfortune occurring within your family or someone in the family becoming a burden. Inverted Strength is an imbalance of power. It also indicates manipulation, bullying, or use of force. And the inverted Two of Hearts is disingenuousness and disloyalty and pretense. I think you, like Cancer, are dealing with a someone and the effects and ramifications of that someone and their actions. It could be toward the rest of the family as a whole, it could be specifically toward you, whatever the case may be. Either things are coming to a head with this person, or perhaps they already have. If you've recently had to cut off this person, I believe the cards are reassuring you that you've made the right call. If you haven't cut this person off, I think they're wanting you to consider if this person is worth keeping in the position they've been in thus far. You can set firmer boundaries, or you can cut off entirely. Otherwise, if the descriptions of these cards hit a little differently for you, you are perhaps being cautioned against acting this way toward your family. But I am getting the sense that someone in your family, Leo, has been doing wrong by you or by others you care about, and it's time to talk to this person and confront them. Or, if you've already done so, it is time to walk away, and if you have walked away, you are reassured that you did the right thing. So now the focus becomes to just keep planning and progressing the best you know for yourself and those you love. Keep doing the next right thing, and know that no matter what this person did or said at any point, no matter how you might feel right now, you are enough as you are, and you are enough for those who continue to rely on you. Virgo, your bottom card is the World in reverse. Your main spread is also all reversed. Queen of Eyes, the Page of Ravens, and Strength. Your oracle is keep your heart open to unexpected possibilities. Something's off, something's missing for you, Virgo. The world, especially, being your main theme, your core context here, there's a lack of completion or vision. Somewhere along the way, you've lost the plot, essentially. You've lost sight of what it is you're truly after right now. And I think that's where all the rest of this is stemming from, or some of this is playing into why this is happening. The inverted Queen of Eyes is moodiness, vengeful emotions, and infidelity. The inverted Page of Ravens is either seduction or it's a lack of drive to create or get any work done. And inverted Strength is an imbalance of power, it's bullying, it's manipulation, it's use of force. Either something has occurred to bring these on and that in turn is causing this lack of direction, or vice versa. Something has, you've lost sense of where you're going because of something that's occurred. And so these things are a direct result of that. I suspect that these two are more so how you've been reacting to whatever's going on, and I think the inverted Strength is pointing to something that maybe is causing this. While the Two of Eyes didn't come up here, I'm wondering if you're dealing with some similar concerns of being afraid of that which you can't foresee. Maybe because you're not sure where to go, you're concerned about what lies ahead, and you're afraid to move forward without knowing what it is that lies ahead. Or perhaps whatever goal you were chasing isn't feasible right now, and you've suddenly realized this, and so now you don't know which way to go. Take some time to figure out what is most important to you right now, and be open to all sorts of unexpected things to come your way and steer you in the right direction or a better direction than you were going. Sometimes life or the universe will throw curveballs at us, and we can't always be prepared for them, but what we can do is control how we respond. And in this case, I think your response is sitting down, taking stock of your current situation, accept that which is no longer feasible, and reset your course toward goals that are achievable now or in the near future. Take some time to reset and right yourself, get back on the horse and make sure you're sat firmly in the saddle, and start moving forward again. Libra, you have pulled the 8 of Ravens, the inverted Fool, the Ace of Graves, and the 9 of Graves. Your oracle states, problems provide opportunities for growth and learning. Some sort of obstacle has occurred that threw you for a bigger loop than you were anticipating. The 8 of Ravens signifies some sort of disappointment that has occurred, and perhaps a desire or a temptation to pull away, to withdraw as a result of this disappointment. The inverted Fool is naivete that has led to foolishness, poor decisions, or faulty choices having played into it. On the other hand, the Ace of Graves is a promise of new prosperity and abundance, some new venture that will perhaps fill the void of whatever this disappointment was. The 9 of Graves, like with one of the previous readings, urges you to come to terms with recognizing your own successes and being content with them without the need for validation from others in order to enjoy those successes. It's a card of a lonely sort of wisdom, but it is a wisdom that gives way to higher self-esteem, better confidence in yourself, your capabilities, your potential. Whatever this disappointment and the obstacles that came with it are, you are intended to learn as much as you can and grow as well as possible from having experienced this and having to correct course around it or change course. And this disappointment is clearly an emotional one rather than a mental one. Something in a relationship somewhere is what's causing this, I think. Whatever it was, it's not the end. There are new beginnings on the other side of this. As I said, just take time to really consider all of the facets of the situation and understand how you can learn and grow from this and continue forward in spite of the disappointment. Scorpio, you have pulled the Four of Eyes, the Four of Hearts in reverse, the Nine of Eyes, and the Nine of Ravens in reverse. And your oracle says, have confidence that you can make progress. Now granted, you have two of each, but I would look into the meanings of the numbers 4 and 9, seeing as those both numbers have repeated themselves here. Perhaps even the number 49 itself. You, to sum this up as concisely as I can, are urged to keep going. It seems that your biggest enemy right now, Scorpio, is your own head. The Four of Eyes indicates a time for celebration and a perfect time for you to connect with others and honor how far you've come in your goals and your achievements in your work. The inverted Four of Hearts indicates anxiety and nervous activity. The Nine of Eyes urges you, recognizes that you've worked and pushed for a very long time to reach whatever goal you are after, and also recognizes that you're starting to get tired and you're considering walking away. It urges you not to do that. Push through the fatigue and keep going because you're so close. The inverted Nine of Ravens tells me that you've set your standards for yourself a little too high, and that is perhaps why you're feeling so anxious, why you're considering giving up. You feel like you'll never reach the end, and yet the two nines tell me that you could not be closer without being finished. The oracle helps sum it up even further. Have confidence you can make progress. You are so close to the end. This would be the worst time for you to walk away from your goal. Take a breath, go eat if you haven't eaten, take a shower if you need a shower, but keep pushing to that goal because you are so close to it, Scorpio. You'll get there. And regardless of the standards you've set for yourself, I think you will be happy with the result in the end, no matter what happens. Strap in, Sagittarius. I kid you not. Your first two cards jumped together, the other 4 all jumped together, and 3 oracles jumped all together. And I could not, in good consciousness, put them back, especially after seeing what they were. And I'll tell you right now that my own Jovian Sagittarius alignment is feeling this hard. So, I'm right there with you. You have pulled the inverted Queen of Eyes, the High Priestess, the inverted Four of Hearts, the inverted Devil, the inverted Eight of Eyes, the Page of Graves, the Nine of Graves, and your oracles are thus: give your creativity the space it needs to flourish. Problems provide opportunities to grow and to learn. Old habits that no longer serve need reviewing. The inverted Queen of Eyes signifies moodiness, infidelity, or feelings of vengeance. I think in this case it's probably the moodiness that is the forefront. The High Priestess reminds you that your intuition is stronger and clearer than you give it credit for, and you need to be able to trust your intuition to guide you. Four of Hearts, like with Scorpio, indicates anxiety. The inverted Devil hints that you will not be held back by these things that are affecting you for very much longer. The inverted Eight of Eyes is resistance to change, it's frustration, it's delay. The Page of Graves is profound curiosity and a strong enough will to face your adversity head on and proceed in spite of your obstacles. The Nine of Graves indicates a need to be content with your successes and achievements without praise and validation from others, which has been a running theme in several of these readings. The oracles are quite self-explanatory. There are old habits and tendencies that you are falling into that you need to get out of. And I believe you are falling into these habits and these tendencies as a coping mechanism. You've been working very hard for very long to reach a goal. This is the first time I've gotten emotional doing one of these, I'm sorry. Can you tell this one's for me too? You've been working very hard for very long to reach a goal that is very important to you. And I suspect it may be one of those goals where the finish line keeps moving for you, where you have to set small milestones along the way because you're never truly finished unless you reach a point where you're content enough to walk away from it and start something else. And because that finish line keeps moving and the results are not always certain, you've been struggling with whether you should keep fighting for this or walk away. But ultimately, your own anxieties and fears are what are holding you back right now. Each obstacle you encounter is not trying to end this journey for you. It is trying to help you grow so that you are stronger and better able to reach the goal. And these old habits and tendencies that you fall into when you start getting anxious or nervous about the outcome and about the uncertainty of your path are what ultimately are holding you back. If the finish line keeps moving, you should keep moving too. And you need to give yourself all of the space and open-mindedness that you need to allow your creativity and the results from that creativity to flourish and blossom as much as they can. You've worked so hard for so long for this. You deserve no less, especially from yourself. You may still have a lonely road ahead of you where you don't get much recognition from others for a while, but it won't be much longer now. The obstacles you've been encountering that have led to your poor mental and emotional state will be resolved in time. Have patience and listen to your intuition and keep creating and keep going. I'm right there with you. Our final reading for Imbolc is Capricorn, who has pulled the Three of Graves, the inverted Five of Hearts, the inverted Emperor, the inverted Three of Ravens, and the King of Eyes. Your oracle says focus on the present, as it is here that change occurs. The Three of Graves being your main theme is a positive card. It indicates mastery of a craft or skill, and it bodes well for any new undertakings you may have right now, Capricorn. The inverted Five of Hearts, however, tells me there's an empty victory, a windfall, or a success that has some sort of heavy cost or sorrow attached to it for whatever reason. Some success is going to bring with it something very upsetting. The inverted Emperor warns of emotion that may cloud good decisions or hinder your ability to focus and thus succeed. The inverted Three of Ravens likewise warns of some sort of small but sudden upheaval or minor loss. The King of Eyes is a card of strong marital or familial connections, really strong bonds within a family or a marriage, and it embodies a mature, confident, paternal figure, or at least masculine energy figure. Someone who is confident, generous, optimistic, can be hasty at times, but ultimately is a very strong, grounding presence. There is something sad, I think, that has occurred or is going to occur for you, but this family or this marriage or this person is there for you to lean on as you get through all of this, and know that this is not going to get in the way of whatever new thing you are trying to start. You have a minor arcana from all four suits, so this is a situation that spans your work and money situation, your mental presence, your emotions and relationships, and your creative pursuits. You also have a major arcana, so there is some big picture aspects of this. This is something that's going to affect you and have ramifications for the further future. Whatever you are starting right now has every potential for success behind it. What you just need to do now is lean on this family, marriage, person, whoever this is, and focus as much as you can on getting through each moment as it happens. Don't look too far ahead and don't let yourself linger on the past. Both of those will merely cloud your judgment and your intuition for what to do now. Just keep living in the present as much as you can, and you'll get through this. And there we have our 12 Western Zodiac horoscope readings for the season of Imbolc. These are intended to span the time between the 1st of February and the spring equinox of this year. But again, as stated at the beginning, take what resonates more than anything else. As you will have very clearly seen, I am a Capricorn, but the Sagittarius reading was clearly the one for me, as I have a Sagittarius alignment in both my North Node and my Jupiter. So, this is why it's important to look through all of the readings if the one for your sun sign doesn't quite fit. Or come back to the video at another time if none of them quite resonate right now. All of that said, I do hope you have found the guidance you need in at least one of these readings to help you through the next 6 weeks as we watch winter melt away into the beginnings of spring. I wish you all a blessed Brigid's Day, and thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, you know where all of the buttons and the links are to show me that love. And if you'd like to see more videos like this one specifically, I have my tarot reading playlist linked in the cards and in the dibble dabble below. If you'd like to see other dimensions besides YouTube where I am active, you can check the link tree also in the doobly-doo for portals to each of those realms. I, as always, want to give a special thanks to my Covenant patrons who continue to be my biggest supporters, particularly Candle members Mitchell and Unimportant. And if you, dear viewer, would like to join their ranks, again check that link tree for the portal to Patreon, where pledges to join the coven start at $1 a month. Thank you again so much for watching. Have a wonderful Imbolc season, and I will see you all again very soon. Keep aiming, my loves. Mwah!
To get in your mind, 'cause right now we're not together, and I lose my way then. Oh, I feel so